We've never been more reachable, and yet so many of us have never felt further apart. We text faster than we think, we multitask while we listen, and we scroll through life half a step removed from the people sitting right beside us. Presence has become a rare art, and in its absence, relationships quietly erode, not through conflict, but through disconnection. Because what our loved ones need most isn't our time, they need our attention, our undivided, unhurried, attuned attention. Presence is the invisible force that heals, and in a world that constantly demands our focus elsewhere, learning how to truly be here might be the most radical act of love left. Picture this. Two people are sitting across from each other at dinner. They've been together for years. They still talk every day, right? About logistics, the kids, daily plans, etc. But lately, something feels off. While one of them talks, the other is glancing down at their phone. Just for a second. But it's enough. And then the spark of conversation dims and the moment passes, and a small but real wound appears. A reminder that even when we're together, we can be elsewhere. Later that night, they lie side by side in bed, both scrolling silently on their phones, and they tell themselves they're just unwinding. But deep down, both feel the same quiet ache. I miss you, even when you're right here. And it's not that love is gone, it's that presence has faded. And without presence, love has no oxygen. Disconnection rarely begins with malice or neglect. It begins with distraction. Our brains are wired for novelty. So each ping, each message, or each post delivers a little tiny dopamine hit. It's a spark of anticipation that feels like aliveness. Over time, our attention fragments, and we begin living in partial focus, never fully in one place, never fully with one person. Psychologists call this continuous partial attention, a state where the mind hovers across multiple streams but never lands anywhere deeply enough to feel intimacy or safety. And that lack of depth slowly becomes emotional distance. Presence requires emotional availability. But you can't be emotionally available when your nervous system is always on alert. When your mind is scanning, your body is bracing. When your attention is divided, your empathy weakens. That's the hidden cost of digital living. We've trained ourselves to attend everywhere else, but belong nowhere. Here's what the science shows us. When two people are present with each other, and truly, really present, their bodies begin to synchronize. Your heart rates align. Your breathing rhythms, they mirror one another. Your brainwave coherence actually increases. And this phenomenon is called interpersonal neural synchronization. And it's the biological foundation of empathy. It's how a parent soothes the crying child, or how lovers fall into silence and still feel connected, or how a friend's calm voice can settle your nerves without saying a word. Our nervous systems are social instruments. They play in harmony when we feel safe, and they go out of tune when we feel unseen. So presence is the tuning fork for all of this. Think of the moments you've felt completely seen in your life. When someone looked into your eyes and didn't rush to respond and they just listened. Or, some other moment like that. You felt your guard drop. Your breath slowed. Your truth came out more easily. That's not coincidence. That's co-regulation. Your nervous system responding to safety in another human being. Presence creates safety, and safety creates honesty, and honesty engenders intimacy. And intimacy, the feeling of being known and accepted, is what every relationship is ultimately seeking. Presence isn't passive. It's an act of generosity. It says, I'm not trying to fix you, impress you, or escape you. I'm just here with you. And in that simple act, something ancient inside us relaxes. Now imagine that same couple that I was talking about. Imagine them again. Same dinner table, same quiet tension. But this time, one of them makes a different choice. They put the phone face down. They lean forward and ask, how was your day? Really? And the question lands. It's been a while since either of them heard that word, really. And there's a pause, and there's a breath, and a flicker of discomfort, but then something unlocks. The conversation turns from surface to depth, and they start to remember what connection feels like. Eye contact, warmth, laughter, relief. That single act of presence doesn't solve everything, but it opens a door. And sometimes one open door is enough to begin all of the healing. Psychologists often say that attention is the purest form of love because to give someone your attention is to give them your energy, and energy is life. Every conversation is an exchange of attention. When that exchange becomes distracted or transactional, the relationship starves. But when attention is full and undivided, it creates attunement, that deep sense that you get me. Attunement is what children need to feel secure, and what partners need to feel cherished, and what friendships need to feel alive. Without it, relationships may survive, but they don't thrive. Most of us think we're present, but we're often engaged in what I like to call emotional multitasking. We're listening while planning our response. We're empathizing while checking the time. We're nodding while thinking about the next thing to say. We confuse activity with engagement. But the nervous system, oh boy, it knows the difference. It can feel when you're not all there. That's why your child says you're not listening, or why your partner withdraws mid-conversation, or why a friend says, never mind. They're responding to the energetic truth. Your body's in the room, but your attention's elsewhere. Your presence can't be faked. It has a frequency, and our bodies are exquisitely sensitive to it. Presence is not a personality trait. It's a trainable skill. And that's exactly what the impossible prompt helps you to remember. The system we've built uses AI not as a distraction, but as a mirror. It listens to the tone, the rhythm, and the content of your reflections. It reveals how you speak about others, how often you rush, how often you pause, and it helps you to see the patterns of disconnection that live in your language. Then, through guided prompts and mindfulness calibration, you'll learn to slow down your thinking, to regulate your breath, and engage in what we call conscious communication. Presence becomes tangible, a felt experience that you can practice. As you retrain your nervous system towards calm awareness, every relationship in your life begins to shift. You start responding instead of reacting. You listen instead of waiting to speak. And you stop performing and you start participating. That's how connection heals, one moment of presence at a time. Neuroscientists have discovered that when we observe someone's emotions, our mirror neurons fire as if we were experiencing those emotions ourselves. So that's why you tear up when someone cries, or you flinch when someone stubs their toe next to you. It's how empathy literally lives in our biology. But this circuitry depends on focus. If your attention is fragmented, the empathy loop breaks. You stop resonating and relationships start feeling flat or performative. Presence repairs the circuit. When you give someone your full focus, your mirror neurons re-engage. You start to feel with them instead of about them. That's the foundation of trust, and trust is the foundation of every relationship worth having. Here are 3 simple ways that you can begin practicing the art of presence today. First, do the full stop. When someone speaks to you, stop what you're doing, literally. Just turn towards them, breathe a little bit, and let them finish before you even think of your response. This takes 5 extra seconds, but it can transform an entire conversation. Second, try the eye pause. Before replying, hold eye contact for 1 breath. This signals attunement and triggers the release of oxytocin, the bonding hormone. And then third, try the device Sabbath. Choose one shared meal or moment each day where all devices are out of reach. Notice how quickly the energy in the room changes when presence replaces distraction. These aren't grand gestures, they are micro-revolutions, small acts of humanity that can rewire the nervous system towards connection. At the heart of every human being is one simple desire: to be seen. Not for what we produce or perform, but for who we are when we're not trying. Presence is what grants that gift. It tells another person, you exist and I see you. In that moment, loneliness dissolves and healing begins. And relationships become what they were always meant to be. A place where 2 consciousnesses meet and remind each other that being alive is worth it. When we relearn the art of presence, we stop trying to fix people and we start feeling them. We stop analyzing love and we start experiencing it. We remember that technology can connect us, but only presence can bond us. And as we practice, slowly and imperfectly, we begin to notice something profound. The world feels safer when we're present. Because presence is the language of safety. It's how the nervous system knows I'm not alone. That's what every relationship, every family, every community is craving right now. If you felt that quiet longing to reconnect, to slow down, to listen deeper, to love without the noise, then this is your invitation. Request your private invitation to the impossible prompt. Because presence isn't just a relationship skill, it's a way of being. And once you rediscover it, every conversation and every connection and every moment of your life begins to feel real again. That's the promise of the impossible prompt, to help you rebuild the art of presence so you can heal, reconnect, and remember what it means to be impossibly human.